Hello everyone, this is Geralty. In today's video we are going to go over the variation of sights, and then I'm going to talk about how I use the sights and why I use them in a certain way. Hopefully I can teach someone something new that they didn't know. I do buy everything from fresh just so I can kind of understand how things need to be laid out, how I can talk about the leveling. So if there's anything that you want to talk about, either gear, other attachments that you say, I don't want to buy it, Geralty, you go ahead and buy it and talk about it. I'm okay with doing that. We're going to go over the sights. I would like to hear in the comments as well, what you like to use for sights and kind of why, might help someone else out on your reasoning. So let's go ahead and get into these sights. These upper sights right here are from Igor. These bottom ones right here are from Tommy. So you got your basic 1x your dots, your circle dots, you got your 4X's, and you got your Mosin sights right here. You have Tommy's 1X's, the dots and the circle dots, the 4x, and then you have the other variation of, all the way up to like 10X sniper rifles. It can also go on these guns as well. Kind of ridiculous, but you could put it on like a Second 17, things like that are more marksman rifle-ish as well. So those are options. Out of these two options, though, I do prefer this one. I think this one needs a little bit working on the mechanics of it. This one right here does cost a little bit more, but it's a lot smoother. So we won't really go over these. I don't really use these ones. I use more of a variation of other things. So obviously you got your single handgun for nothing. You got your iron sights. This is one of the guns that I prefer to use. I used to use a lot of the RCs. I started using that gun. Hands down, probably if you like the M4 series, the M4 mod is hands down the best gun in the game for that type of feel. There's other guns, arguably, that are better, but for this series, great gun. So a lot of people, when you first start out, they want to use like this or one of these two. It's really preference. I know a lot of people that still use this one just because of how it feels and how much real estate that you get on your screen. But when it comes to sight on the 1X, it's literally the difference of this right here. So you have the dot style, which is just more of a focus point. And then you have more of these that are the circle with the dot that are more aerial points, and it really depends on what you kind of how your brain works. I've used them both. I have no really preference on which one. I've taken sights off of it. To me, it's point, shoot, click. I don't really have a preference, but I really don't like these ones. These are probably the only ones that I really don't like. Just in the sole fact of the color. I don't like the green color. Your thumb gets in the way, and it's just, to me, not a good feeling. I know people that use them. They like them. Not for me. This one, to me, always seemed like it was too far away. But when you're skimping on money, and this is all you can buy, hey, I'd rather you use a sight any day instead of iron sights. I am not good at iron sights whatsoever. That's one thing that I really do need to improve on. So these are all the sights that you can buy. Oh, whoops. I was like, where the heck did that one go? So if you have any other questions, like I said, leave a comment on kind of what you use, why you'd use it. If you have questions for me on how I think things should kind of look and feel, go ahead and ask me. But now we're going to get into the part of how I use them, how I developed on changing how I use them as well. So like this right here is more of my metro runs, and then I used to run this style right here for suburbs and dam, but now I've switched to this, and I'm going to get into the explanation on why I switched. Both good ideas, good recommendations, but my brain works way better than for the bottom one. So the metro one, like I said, pretty point and simple. Use whatever sight you want. I do not recommend a 4X at all. I put it in the middle because I used to put it way up here and it would look like this, right? really up close and personal, but you'll lose real estate to your sides, and you can't really see anything else if you want to be snappy. If you see, if I have it in the middle, I can still visually see out of my peripherals in every other direction. I never did this until I was messing around with my buddy a Cruin's gun and noticed, I was like, why do you have it up there? And then he explained it to me. I started doing it. I'm like, oh, that feels way better. Some people even put it way up here. I've only seen a handful of people do this. I think people do this because it is, I guess, at distance a little bit more, like you can follow a little better. I don't got the visual eyesight for that. If you like that, go ahead. I know I have one buddy that took his gun and I was like, what in the world? That is way up there. Not for me. I prefer right in the middle, kind of right at the crease of the barrel from the chamber. So now we're going to get into these. This was my first style before I found out that you could do this. So in the Battle Royale, they had other versions that had a combo. It had a 4X to 1X combo built in. I would have probably preferred that. I really don't like how high they set up. You can put a 1X on like this. You can do that. That is an option. I don't do it because you're like, look how high up that is. It is ridiculously high. I'm not a fan of it. If you can do that mentally, all for you. But right here, you had the easy 4X for distance. I always recommend a 4X for suburbs and dam, just because a lot of the fights, a lot of the dog fights are high up in elevations from distance. So 4X always recommended. You could use this one. I think it has more clarity. This one I think feels like it has more distance to it. But this one, like, I'm in it and I feel like it is visually seeing everything I want to see. Now, you have the 45 degree that I was showing you right here, and you can fight like this. And that's how I used to do it, is run around, have it pointed up, and get ready to go. And you can be up close and personal here. I was losing a lot of fights just because I get so used to being snappy like this that I had to then change it to be like this. And to my brain, it's really hard to get snappy with an angle. And then you also have to think of how the recoil kicks. It's going to kick at an angle instead of just up and down. So if you've got used to how recoils kick, how you can kind of hold it down while you're shooting, this one right here, you have to kind of get used to kind of pulling it at an angle. Not a fan of it. Well, then I was looking at this lovely sight right here. This sight is probably one of the greatest ones in my opinion. It is called the Levo. A lot of people did not like it in the Battle Royale because its profile is very small. But in this game where you're not fast-paced Battle Royale it up, where you have time to focus and aim, it is great. It gives you enough what you need to see at distance and shoot, and at the same time you can look up and see distance. You can kind of like, oh, I can't really see them on my sight. Let me get more of a better visual. And then, see that? Oh, I see them. Let's get a better zoom. Oh, I see them right there. Let's get a better zoom. Really like it. The reason why I can do this is because it has a digital camera that actually goes around your sight to then have this on set. This right here has been the reason why this is my go-to now, is because you can easily, boom, boom. I get that one easy snap point to where I am in straight dogfights where I need to go. If I need to lean, see, I'm instantly snapping. If I need to go and then get into distance, distance. This right here, best recommendation is the 4x to 1x combo with the Levo. Any type of 1x you want. Hands down, that's my go-to. So this is my video for all the sights, how I use the sights. If you have any other questions, leave in the comments. Have a good one.